Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Television, Radio, and Podcast Talk Show. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 2 p.m. on the Eastern Time Zone as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. It's always so much fun. You can find us on television in Alabama, Channel 182 on Charter Communications, and that's up in close to the Huntsville area. Another way you can find us is on Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com and other ways you can find us as well, social media and all that kind of good stuff coming up. I've got AP Steadham with us right now, and he's our resident, well, not resident, but almost resident, and he is our sports guy who's got all the know when it comes to SEC and everything else to do with sports. How are you doing today, AP? How's the weather in your neck of the woods?
Hey, good, Donna. Yeah, it's a nice day today. We've been having some rain. Everybody needs rain, so we're glad that we had the sprinkles, showers the last 2 or 3 days. But it's a nice day, and the weather has been complimentary. So we're having fun here in L.A., Lower Alabama.
Well, that gives me some hope because you guys usually send your nasty weather up to us. So we've been having some bad rain weather. So if it's nice out there, there's some hope.
Yes.
Again, thank you so much for being on the show with us. So we've got quite a few questions, people. And by the way, send them to Donna at donnasedge.com, Donna at donnasedge.com. Most of it is about the SEC, and we have a few others as well sprinkling out there. But and this came from Rob, and Rob said, when you look at the SEC heading into the season, what is the biggest storyline nobody is talking about enough? That's a good question.
Yeah, that is the one they're not talking about enough. Let's say, just right off the top of my head, Donna, let's say which new coach will emerge with the most victories. How about that?
That's a good one.
How about that? Just instant reaction from me, and that's a nice question too. Thank you for the question. Yeah, which coach do you think will get the team moving in the right direction and have the most wins, and the fans will say, "Oh, gee, we're so glad we hired him"?
I'm looking at the new Auburn coach. I don't know why. I still don't think they're going to be the winningest this year.
Right.
But I feel like they're going to be moving in the right direction.
Right. That could be the key. That they're moving in the right direction. Their fan base is rejuvenated. It sure could be. Yeah. Auburn is a team because of they brought in their quarterback from the same school, South Florida. And so that could be a program and fan base that is so thrilled. Hey, we have a chance to win ball games now. We're playing better on offense, and we're complimenting ourselves with our normal good defense. So, yeah, Auburn could be that team. Sure could.
I think so. Other than that, in your mind, who's the one who's really everybody needs to look out for?
Well, everybody's watching that LSU team with Lane Kiffin. I mean, he's got a $40 million roster or so projected, and bringing in the quarterback from Arizona State, who a couple of years ago was in the playoffs, Sam Leavitt. So LSU always has talent. Just a question of if it's organized on both sides, because we've seen LSU outstanding on one side and just very deficient on the other. So can Lane Kiffin, usually offensively, he has a good team. Can he get somebody on that defensive side to help him out? And what's he going to do with this transfer quarterback first year, Sam Leavitt from Arizona State?
That's true. And I think for the past couple of years, you've been talking about, SEC and the whole college football outfit is like we're in the wild, wild west. And,
it's still there. Yeah.
Yeah, we still are. But don't you feel like it's kind of loosening up just a little bit?
Well, Donna, about, let's say 3-4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, the rosters were maybe around 20 million, let's say. Mm-hmm. Now they're approaching the 40 and the 50 million just in about 3 years, Donna. Think about that. We just started out with this name, image, and likeness, and it's really skyrocketed the total price of acquiring all the talent. I didn't think it would move this fast, but that money is flowing. If it was a bank, they'd be working on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. That's something else. I've got another question for you, and this is from Randy, Randi.
Okay.
It's Randy's name, the way Randy spells it. And so she said, back in the day, all athletes look forward to being on the Wheaties box.
Yes.
Are we seeing that now?
Wheaties, Cheerios, you pick one of them, they'll be on the cover. Like Sam Pittman made that famous statement to me at the Southeastern Conference meetings years ago, the former Arkansas coach. He said, if you pay them enough money, they'll live in a teepee. So same thing. You pay them enough money, they'll be on any cereal box.
It doesn't really matter. You're getting attention, all that focused attention. And then I've got this one right here, and this is from Angela. And Angela said, do you feel like it's turning more into a popularity contest now with all the rules and regulations that are out there?
Oh, I would say popularity with the right amount of money, if I can categorize it in that manner. Who has the most money? Who's offering the most money to me?
Well, let me ask you a question. This is a Donna question, okay? Because, I do a lot of gardening. You know that. A lot of shows are about gardening as well.
Yes.
Variety shows. We do a lot of stuff. But when I'm looking for information and I'm going through, say, let's just say YouTube. Okay. So there's somebody out there and they're turning cartwheels and they're trying to, I just want an answer. I really don't want anybody to entertain me when I'm looking for an answer. Are we going to need to be careful that it doesn't turn that way? Just play.
You mean people concentrating on the money, Don? Is that what you mean? Is that what you're
concentrating?
Yeah. In other words, this is what I tell people because Don, I don't know about you. I haven't met anybody who likes the transfer portal or the name, image, and likeness, and I'm not sure I quite understand because we use the example of Vanderbilt. 0 victories not too long ago in the conference. Now they're challenging for the conference title because of the name, image, and likeness and the transfer portal, the ability to acquire talent. So I tell people, if you don't like the name, image, and likeness, you don't have to participate or contribute. Somebody from your fan base, your alumni group will make those donations, and you just buy your tickets and show up and cheer and make sure you have a scorecard so you can know the players, because year to year it changes. So that's my position when I speak to people who don't like this era of the wild, wild west, and it will continue.
Okay, this is coming from Ted, and Ted asks you, which SEC team has the most pressure entering the season? That's a good question.
I think Alabama is in a position where their coach, because they faltered so badly in the playoffs when they lost the Rose Bowl, worst victory, 38-3. I think Texas they're playing to win this year with Arch Manning. They waited so long for him to be the starter, and they didn't make the playoffs last year. And you're Texas with $50 million roster. So I would say Alabama, Texas, and I'm saying these teams because I think there's a equal amount of pressure on them, but Texas for sure. And then LSU with that roster, Lane Kiffin, having all the players, usually being the king of the transfer portal, the state of Louisiana being a hotbed for football per capita wise, if you calculate those numbers. I say those 3 teams, Alabama, Texas, and LSU. We know that Georgia has been winning year after year with Kirby Smart, whether they win in spite of themselves, as we've noted on this program and others as well, that they can't run the football sometime and they're dropping all the passes, but they play enough defense and they get to the championship game of the Southeastern Conference and win. But I would say Alabama, LSU, and Texas in any order that you choose.
Mm-hmm. A lot of good questions out here. Okay.
Yes, there is.
And this one is from Brett. He says, which traditional powerhouse concerns you the most heading into the season?
Right. Yeah. I would say Texas with the addition of Cam Coleman, the very talented wide receiver from Auburn. He did not reach his full potential because the passing game and the quarterback and the coaching weren't able to deliver the ball to him enough. But you're going to have Arch Manning now. He's playing very well towards the end of the season. And under Steve Sarkisian, he's a very good offensive coach. I would say that Cam Coleman in Texas is a team to watch this year. I would say on the offensive side of all the teams you're looking at in the Southeastern Conference, that I would favor them to lead the conference in points scored. I would say, yeah.
I've got a lot of questions that came in like the day after you recorded last week. So some of these could be a little bit old. I haven't read through every one of them. So, but anyway,
already
started with the next one. We always hear that, and by the way, this is from Aaron. And Aaron says, we always hear that quarterback play decides championships. Now, which SEC quarterback room stands out to you the most this coming season?
Yeah, the quarterback room that stands out to me, I would say a couple at this point because they're veterans in the league. I would say number one, Arch Manning at Texas. I would say Gunnar Stockton, Georgia. Marcel Reed at Texas A&M. Those would be my – and Lenora Sellers has some talent at South Carolina, but he's been spotty, and they haven't had the offensive line to protect and support him. So he would be below those couple of those quarterbacks I mentioned first. So Arch Manning, Gunnar Stockton of Georgia, and Marcel Reed, and then Lenora Sellers. If he gets some blocking up front and support from the other people on the offense, I would say those quarterbacks have a chance to be the most productive because they've shown some ability to lead their teams and be successful in the SEC.
Our South Carolina fans are going to enjoy this one. So this is a Donna question. So Lenora Sellers, if you were Lenora Sellers' coach,
yes,
you could have a one-to-one with Lenora Sellers. What would you say to him?
Yeah, I would say to in the event that the line protection breaks down, or you have enough time but you can't find the receiver. Number one, you're looking to run the ball, but if you can't, throw it away and go to the next down. I would say that to any quarterback, but specifically Lenore because he is so talented. And I would say not to take too many chances because sometimes you get an interception or you're running around in the backfield and they come from behind and take the ball away from you. So I would say play it slightly safer, and you're hoping that he gets that line protection this year.
Well, and you probably just answered this, but this is another question, and this is from Richard. And Richard said, do you feel like Lenora Sellers, because we're looking at him right now, do you feel like he's lacking a little bit in confidence, or is he just jumping the gun too much?
What was that word you used, Donna? Lacking?
Confidence.
Oh, confidence. No, Lenore, he's a very even-keeled individual. I've spoken to him several times. I think he has the confidence, but like any good quarterback, he needs support from his offensive line, the wide receivers, tight ends, and running backs, and good coaching, good play calling. So, Lenore, he's fine, I think, mentally and being a leader of his team.
Mm-hmm. They just need to work as a team a little bit more.
Yes, that's correct. That's right.
I think that's right, too. Let's go ahead and cut into a commercial break. I can't believe half the show's over already. We'll be right back in just a minute. Keep sending questions.
Great. There's great.
Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you.
Finding the right home isn't just about bedrooms and square footage. It's about comfort, security, and the feeling you get the moment you walk through the door. That's why so many families across Greenwood and the Lakelands area trust Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams. And I'll tell you from personal experience, Jenny was my realtor, and she truly cares about her clients. Jenny takes the time to listen, to understand what matters most, and to guide you every step of the way, whether you're buying your first home, upgrading, or ready to sell. Because this isn't just a transaction, it's your life. With local knowledge, personal care, and a commitment to getting it right, Jenny Ferguson makes the process simple and even enjoyable. So if you're thinking about buying or selling, now's the time to make your move. Call Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams in Greenwood today and take the next step toward a place you'll truly love coming home to. Good afternoon, Sunshine. Medical Minute brought to you by Dr. Chuck with Lakeland's Chiropractic, where an ounce of prevention is worth what? A pound of cure. So what is the Beamer? Okay, now the Beamer uses very gentle pulsed electromagnetic signals. This will stimulate healthy muscles and it supports the temporary blood flow. Now let's talk Beamer and circulation support. Now the Beamer gently supports natural circulation in healthy muscles. Now that's what I call natural health. Thank you so much for watching your Medical Minute, brought to you by Dr. Chuck. You know who he's with. He's with Lakeland's Chiropractic, where an ounce of prevention is worth what? A pound of cure. I hope you have a super duper awesome rest of the afternoon. You take care. Shine your style at Kiss My Glass right here in the Anderson Mall. There's a place where style meets sparkle. At Kiss My Glass, every piece is handcrafted, custom designed, and made to shine just like you. Owner Beth Gibson brings creativity to life with stunning custom tumblers, gifts, and one-of-a-kind pieces you won't find anywhere else. Look for the perfect gift or something uniquely you, from bold and glamorous to simple and elegant. There's something for every style, so stop by, get inspired, and leave with something unforgettable. Kiss My Glass inside the Anderson Mall, Anderson, South Carolina, where your sparkle begins. Be sure to check out Kiss My Glass on Facebook for updates and specials and gift ideas. Good afternoon. We are back. I have AP Steadham with me right now. He also has a podcast, his own talk shows. AP, As We See It. What's going on with that show?
Donna, last week we had Ryan Fowler out of Tuscaloosa, the game 100.9, and Ryan, of course, covers the University of Alabama athletics, so that was a terrific interview. And then this week, Donna, we have scheduled Brian Haddad. He's Super Talk Mississippi, so we're going to discuss Mississippi State, and we're also going to have a second guest, Callum McAndrew, and Callum is with the Columbia Daily Tribune. That's Missouri. So we're going to try to focus on two teams. We've been trying to mention one team per week, but this week we have two guests, so that's going to be fun. Mississippi State and Missouri, and we'll make mention of some of the things happening at the SEC spring meetings in Destin, which they have been primarily discussing the college football playoff moving from 12 to probably 24. The SEC stands firmly at 16, but they're by themselves as the Big 10, the Big 12, the ACC, and Notre Dame are all favoring the 24. And Don, I think there's a little battle there in the SEC. I think the commissioner is holding strong at 16. I think the athletic director is 24. Some of the coaches in the SEC at 24 as well. So that decision does not have to be made by the Big 10 and the SEC until December the 1st, Donna.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Haley put a lot of thought into a question here for you. And this is also about a quarterback. And so Haley says, how much pressure is on young quarterbacks stepping into the major SEC programs today compared to even 5 years ago? That's a good question. That's why a good question. Thank you for that question, because I think she realized that there's money involved. And when you're paying people, Donna, there's a little bit different expectation from the alumni and fans, because they figured we believe in you so much, we're giving our hard-earned money. So I think she's correct. I think she is too. It's a little extra pressure there, but some people actually go well under pressure.
That's right.
They do. I've known a lot of business people who would, they wait until the last minute to make it into the head, and I'm
Right.
one of those. I've always done that too. But there's just something about that rush. If I've got to make it happen now,
I think so.
maybe part of it. And I've got you another quarterback question.
Okay.
Let's see. Which returning quarterback gives, and they didn't put their name on it, which returning quarterback gives his team the best chance to make a college football playoff run?
The playoff, right? Yeah, making the playoffs and making a run, those are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
So making the playoffs, I think you have those three that I mentioned, Gunnar Stockton of Georgia, because Georgia wins a year in, year out under Kirby Smart, the head coach. Marcel Reed or Mike Elko, the new coach here the last couple of years. And then, of course, Steve Sarkisian and Arch Manning. So making the run, I would say I'm leaning to Texas making the run with Arch Manning because of the wide receivers and other people they brought on board.
Mm-hmm. Here's another question, and this one is about Texas and Oklahoma.
Okay.
Okay, so now that Texas and Oklahoma are fully settling into SEC competition, how has the conference changed? And this is from Amy.
Well, it's another game that you mark on your schedule because those are two blue bloods. And blue bloods, Donna, I consider and define by saying they're top 10 all-time winners. And they have Heisman Trophy winners and national championships and former league championships and many, many All-Americans. So, yeah, and Oklahoma's a team we should mention. They made the playoffs this year. They have the Mateer, the quarterback, returning, and I think he's healthier, so that gives them a chance as well. You should put his name in as one of the quarterbacks in our discussion that we had before in some of those questions. Like anybody, he needs his wide receivers to catch the football for him and offensive line to block and the good play calling and coaching.
Andrew has another question for you. And which head coach made the best off-season moves? That's a good one.
Right. Yeah, that's a good question. And Don, that's one of those things where you're bringing in talent from other schools. And some coaches, they're looking at, there's two types of players normally, Donna. Some players coming out of high school were 4 and 5 stars, highly recruited, but hadn't had an opportunity or had not produced in that specific system. So some coaches, and Donna, we know this about coaches, they believe they can turn things around. So they recruit that type of player and try to have them transfer. Others, they have the production on the field. You're saying, gee, they weren't that highly recruited, but my goodness, they had 1,000 yards rushing or receiving or so many touchdowns. So, those are the two types of players. Who made the best moves? Donna, we're going to find out. I mean, all this is a projection and by people in the media. So you would think that Texas really put all their money in winning this season. So we're going to find out, though, about Texas.
Absolutely. Now, this one, and I think it's a good question, too, and this is about the NIL changes.
Yes.
Has NIL changed college football for the better or for the worse overall? And this is from Jill.
Right. I think for the better, and this is why I say that, because you have more teams that are capable of winning a league title. I mean, Donna, think about this. In the last 10 years, did we ever mention Vanderbilt as potential to be one of the top teams in the conference?
They were almost a joke.
0 victories, 0. I mean, didn't win. Teams like Vanderbilt show you that if you have good coaching, the right person in the leadership position as the head coach, and you're utilizing your money economically where you have a complete roster, not just, we signed up a star quarterback, but we didn't get an offensive line. But you could do those things now. Mm-hmm. You can complement your roster by bringing in people from other schools besides your high school recruits, your transfers. So I think for the better, coaches are always using that disclaimer of, they should stay and face adversity. Well, Don, in the real world, if you're not getting a chance, you're showing up all the time, and for whatever, for, let's say, a reason, you're not on the favorite list by the management, they're going to be the same story every year. So you see people move and win Heisman trophies. So this idea you have to stay and face adversity, there's always adversity, even if you transfer. Okay, you're going to have to compete normally. So I'm fine with the roster movement. Myself personally, I know the coaches don't like it because you're always recruiting all the time, Donna. Even when you have somebody on your roster, I tell people that the players now used to be, how long is your contract? Are you going to be here 3 or 4 years? All they want to know is you're going to be here next year, because that's all I'm going to be here. I'm going after this year to maybe the pros if I play well. So I'm fine with it the way it is now.
Let me ask you another question. And this one right here comes from Elliot. Okay, so how much has roster management become just as important as actual coaching? That's a good question.
You're right. If you had to take one or the other, Donna, one or the other, I'm taking roster management, because players can win a game in spite of coaching. The top coaches, Donna, they understand. Yeah, I'm confident with my ability to develop talent, call the right plays, or get somebody to call the right plays and assemble my staff where they can be the lieutenants, excellent lieutenants for me on the offense and the defense and the special teams. But coaches know that the smart ones say, I don't want to coach every play. Meaning we want people who can are so talented, they'll win in spite of my coaching.
Absolutely. One more. And guys, thank you so much for all the questions. These are awesome.
Awesome.
Continue sending. Donna at donnasedge.com. Donna at donnasedge.com. Okay. So this is a good one right here. Okay. And I've had this one in the back of my mind as well. And this one comes from Daryl. And Daryl asks you a question. Can smaller schools in the real world compete anymore with the current NIL environment? Ooh.
Yeah. Smaller schools, that we'd have to come up with a definition, Donna. And we've seen James Madison in the playoffs, right? We've seen Tulane in the playoffs. So I would say yes, the way that their system is set up. It's very difficult to, let's say, win a championship. But the question, can you compete to earn a berth in the college football playoff? We've seen that last year was evidence.
You know, if I were looking for players, I would be looking for the player that was hungry. And I were in a small school, I would look for a hungry player who wanted to turn it around, just like Lee Iacocca did. And you know, I want to go into something that's failing, and I want to be the hero and turn it around. That's who I'd be looking for.
That's your appeal, right? That's your selling point. Correct. Exactly, Donna.
I think we've got time for one more real quick one.
Okay.
Do you like the current playoff format? Or would you change?
Right. Yeah, 12 is fine with me, Donna. I think it's going to move to 24 eventually. There's too many conferences are favoring that doubling of the number from 12 to 24, but I'm fine with 12.
Absolutely. Let's call it a day, AP. Thank you guys so much for the questions. Donna at donnasedge.com. And AP, thank you so much for being with us today. We're going to have to call it a day. I hope you have a great rest of the afternoon. See you next time around.
I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free.